Hi guys, it's Wade McMaster here. Got another video for you today exploring ConvertKit. Now in this video we're going to be focusing on the automations and sequences of ConvertKit. Now these features are pretty much the main reason why I've switched over to ConvertKit on a lot of my more serious websites is because the ability to set up not only a list of emails to send new subscribers, but the way to customize it and have the sequences really react to the behavior of your subscribers is really advanced, but also quite simple to implement. So it's really quite impressive what you can get out of this software. So to start off with, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to introduce you to a few bits and pieces, and we're just going to build upon it as we go. Now, obviously with ConvertKit, you can use a broadcast to send out just a standard email, but what we're really going to do is we're going to hit up the sequences over here. So I'm going to click on sequences. I'm already on sequences actually, so I didn't need to do that. I'm going to click create a sequence. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give the sequence a name. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to call this one, for the sake of the video, we'll pretend like we've got a fitness website. I'm going to call this sequence lose weight and create the sequence. So let's say I have a series of posts, could be anywhere from 1, 2, 3, 10, 40, whatever it is, emails in this post. So basically this is the first email we're going to send. I'm going to basically say here, maybe we call this one the basics of weight loss. Now obviously if I want to add a link in here I can. That's not a big deal. It's pretty easy. But let's say I want to put my blog post here, blog post. I'm not going to go through and type up an email. Let's just say this is the email, and we can add in a link. So so click here. We're going to click on this link button here, insert a link, and we're just going to put in, maybe we'll put in someone else's website. No Fitness, that's a cool website. Open a new tab, insert. So we've got our first email in this sequence, which is the basics of weight loss. And obviously we can go through, delete this, and type up what we want. But less important at this stage, what we want to do now is actually create the next email. So I'm going to click add email. So this basics of weight loss is set up to send a day after they end up on the sequence. This one here, let's say I want to give them a bit more time. So on the second email here, write a compelling subject. I'm going to call this one exercise. Size to burn more fat. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to send this one, because obviously maybe the basics, maybe they want 2 or 3 days to digest it. I'm going to give it 3 days. And let's say for whatever reason, we don't want people reading these on, say, a Sunday, because it's their day off, or maybe we just don't receive we don't get a lot of interaction. So we're going to make sure it only sends Monday to Saturday. So now we've got this here. We can actually put in, I'm just going to basically put in some dummy content here. So, post below, link, that sort of thing. Yep. Hi. Here are some exercises for you below. Cheers. Wait, so I've got 2 emails there, and I can basically go through and do the same thing and write several emails. So maybe now we'll say best foods for weight loss. How much sleep do you need for optimum fat loss? So we've got a few emails there. We've got 4 emails in our little sequence. We can type up our content. But basically what's going to happen is this one here, we've got 1 day, 3 days, 1 day. Maybe again I want to change that. Maybe this time I want to make it 2 days. We'll say for some reason this last one's a big one to digest. So this final email, we're going to give them a week. 7 days. What I can do, I can save all of those. And now I have a sequence. Now the cool thing about these sequences is, like I said, once someone enters a sequence on here, they've subscribed and you've linked everything up, they get the first email. 3 days later, they get the next email, not on a Sunday. 2 days later, they get this email, and so on. So it allows you to very easily create a sequence of emails you can send along. And if you ever want to go back in and edit, you can actually just drag and reorder. And apparently they don't send the same email twice. So if someone's been sent an email here and you move it down, apparently I don't think they get sent it again. Double check that one, but I'm pretty sure there's technology in ConvertKit that stops that from happening. So we've got our first sequence ready to go, and that's basically how a sequence works. You create your emails, you create a sequence, you drag and drop from there. Now this is a bit of a, we're going to glaze over this pretty quickly because it is pretty basic, but the effect is very impressive. So I've saved all these, I'm going to save them all again. I'm going to head back to sequences. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a couple of other sequences, but I'm not going to go in and create several emails. This is just for the sake of the video. So maybe I'll create another sequence. I'll call this sequence Build Muscle, Create Sequence. I'm going to save that. And now I'm going to go back to sequences again. I'm going to create a third one just for the sake of this video. And call it intro sequence, create sequence. So what I'm going to do is, let's say when someone signs up for your email list, you're not concerned about sending them to one way or another. You can say lose weight, gain muscle, whatever it is. We want to basically, so we have a welcome email, then another email. Maybe we make that one 2 days later. And then we change this one to say, what is your goal? So we come up, and like I said before, we can actually insert, if someone subscribes with their name, you can have that in there. I prefer to use the subscriber's name with fallback. That way, if someone has entered their name when they signed up, it says hello, and then their name. And of course, this is what the else means. If they don't have a name, it just says hello. So what I can do is I can type up another little email. Maybe I'll say, what is your goal? So this is one of those little triggers we can set up for our automation. I'm going to do this ahead of time before we get into automations, just so you can see how it works. You can have a link here that says, I want to lose weight. Maybe we'll bullet point these. I want to gain muscle. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to put links here. So we're going to basically link these off to a page. Insert a link, maybe this one, like I said, we'll go to Nerd Fitness, which is a popular fitness website I don't own. Open new tab, and we can tag subscribers. Click the link. So we're going to say lose weight. So what I've done here is anyone who clicks on the I want to lose weight link goes to Nerd Fitness or whatever our blog post is that we're setting up. It's going to open in a new tab, but it's also going to add a tag to that subscriber, which is going to basically be permanently, it's going to be attached to their subscriber information until I set up a filter to remove it. And that tag is lose weight. So I'm going to insert that. And then I'm going to create another link here for muscle. Oops. I don't want to, so I want to create a link. This time, I can't think of another website, so what I'll do is I'll just put the Google website on there. Now you want this to be the URL of your blog post. So once again, open a new tab, create a tag, call this one muscle. So depending on which one they go to, they're going to get a tag next to their name. And this might seem a little confusing, but just stick with me at the moment. And obviously, you want to type up a bit of a longer, more not necessarily a longer email, but a bit more personal email, but just shows you the functionality of what's possible. Any questions, just ask. Cheers. Wait. So I've put together this little introductory email on the second email of this sequence. And basically it says hello to the person, ask what their goal is, and they have an option to go to one or the other, sending them off to a page on the website, maybe with some basic information about how to lose weight or some basic information on how to gain muscle. I'm going to save that information. So this is where the automations come into play. So I'm going to go over here to automations. This is where you have a lot of, where you can really see the fun of and the interesting side of ConvertKit. I'm going to create a new automation. And this account doesn't have any subscribers apart from one Gmail address I signed up with earlier. But basically, I click here on Create Automation, and I'm going to say Join. Start off by Joins a Form. Now, I only have one form on this account, Form 1. So I'm going to add that event. So this is what happens. Someone joins via my form on my website, which is actually this one here, and they get put straight onto this automation. So now that they've actually got this automation, I'm going to add here my email sequence, and I'm going to choose intro. So we've got an action. The person signs up using a form on my website, and now they get my intro series, the first email welcoming them, and the second email asking them what their goal is. Now this is where it gets interesting. I'm going to actually add here a condition. So if the sort of subscriber has a tag, let's say that tag is lose weight, we're going to add that condition. You'll see here we now get this split. So what I can do is if someone has the tag lose weight on yes, I want to add another email sequence, obviously lose weight, the action, and over here I can add gain muscle. Quite simply. The other thing is if someone doesn't actually pick an option at all, you might not necessarily want them to go to either one of these. But for now, basically, we're working on the fact that they've signed up on a form here. They've got the email intro sequence, and we've asked whether they want to lose weight or gain muscle. If they click lose weight, we've gone down to yes, they get the lose weight email sequence. And if they haven't clicked lose weight, they go straight onto the muscle sequence. Oh, wait, that was not correct. I'm going to delete that condition. Add the email sequence, build muscle. Now this is really cool because obviously now we can funnel people depending on where they want to go. But like I said, let's say for some reason someone didn't actually click a condition, they're automatically going to get put onto the build muscle sequence, and we don't necessarily want that. So what we're actually going to do now is we're going to add this condition in above. Another condition has the tag muscle. So now I actually have to have this tag muscle, and I'm actually going to add in the email sequence for build muscle. And you see we get this nice little sprout off of sequences and this nice little tree of direction that people can choose. Obviously it can get a bit confusing, but you sort of get the idea. You can have a play with it and create like a bit of a flow. So I'm actually just going to clean this up a little bit. So another thing we can do is simply leave this node blank. So instead of actually having an option of one sequence or another, we can have it bypass the sequence altogether. So they sign up, they click lose weight, they get the lose weight section. If for some reason nothing happens at all, we can add another sequence in here, which maybe it's one basic email on how to lose weight as opposed to a series. But let's say now we want to add in the condition over here. Once again, the tag might be muscle, add a condition. And again, we get to add in our email sequence for build muscle. So there's a few different ways you can do it, but the overall goal is still the same. The idea is they get given an option. If they choose one, then they get this sequence. If they choose the other, then they get this sequence. If for some reason they click both links this way, instead of getting one or the other, they will actually get one and then the other. So yeah, it's pretty handy to be able to set it up and create like a 1-2 type scenario. And what you can do is you can actually save this. Okay. And go from there. Now, this is handy. And like I said, if for some reason they haven't chosen one, you can either continue going down here, or you can create an alternate sequence which covers something else on this branch over here by clicking a little email sequence. So what I'm going to do now is now we've gone through this here. Let's say we've got another email sequence we're going to continue to use afterwards. So I head back over to sequences, create another one. Maybe I just want to call this one, post. We'll call it sequence 3. We'll call it sequence 4, just for the sake of the video. And as before, like I said, once we've created sequence 4, we can go in and add in as many emails as we want. Obviously, we want to change the status on all these emails from draft to published, so they receive these emails. So obviously, once I've saved that, so all those emails we're looking at earlier, when you actually finish and you're happy with them, you do want to come up the top to status and hit published. But like I said, we go back to our automations now. We've got visual automation 1. We're back in, able to edit. So once again, running through, like I said, we can go, yep, form 1. So they've entered by filling out form 1 on the website. They get the intro sequence, which has the option. And if they choose lose weight, they get this sequence. if they actually choose muscle, then they also get this sequence. And see, it's pretty easy to build. And from there, I can now add in sequence 4. So that way, when they're done with it all, you can have a standard sequence follow-up after that. Now, you can get a lot more complicated and break these areas up even further. It really depends on what you want to do. Like the limit, there really is like it's almost limitless what you can do. Like I said, you can like you can explore the events. Like obviously, like if a tag is added, you can have something continue from there. You can have different conditions like a custom field. Like they're getting a bit more advanced now, but you sort of get the idea. At the end of this sequence, you can actually move the subscriber. So maybe you can send them to another automation. You can also remove them from another automation. Maybe you want to, so you got to delay the next step. You can do all sorts of things and add all sorts of actions. Like so that way, if someone said no to lose weight, you could delay them for a week, 12 months or something by popping an action in there. There's all these little things you can do. You can remove tags. So let's say we're done. So let's say we've finished the build muscle course. We can actually have an action where we want to say remove a tag. So muscle, remove. Oops, sorry, muscle. So they've viewed the muscle sequence. They get the muscle tag removed. For some reason this isn't disappearing on my browser, but muscle tag gets removed and they're on to sequence 4. So there's all these little things you can do. You can really create these awesome little like funnels for your email subscribers. So that's only a handful of emails are set up there, but some people have email lists with hundreds of automated emails and completely running on autopilot, intelligent due to the fact they've set up their tags and got everything set up in a certain way that keeps the flow going nicely. So that's just give you a bit of an idea of how to use your sequences and automations. And like I said, if you start another automation, what you can do at the end of this one is you can simply move the subscriber, start another automation, and they can basically pick the automation from there. Obviously, I don't have any other automations, so I can't really pick one, but you sort of get the idea. So yeah, pretty handy. Just a bit of an introduction. It's really something you've got to have a play with to truly understand, but it's, as you can see, it's very, very straightforward and easy to use. And at the moment it's paused, so I can make it live if I want to, turn it on. So now when everyone signs up through that form, they're going to go through this sequence. So I hope you enjoyed that sort of run through on just what's possible with the automations and sequences in ConvertKit. If you have any questions, let me know, because if there's anything that you're after, it could be worth making another video about. Just be good to know. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video. We're going to be making more about ConvertKit in the future and adding to this playlist. So yeah, just keep an eye on it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we'll go from there. Also, if you do not have ConvertKit, head to willbuildyourblog.com/ConvertKit to get your hands on this software. It is absolutely fantastic. I've been using it for a little while now, and it's just awesome. This is only a dummy account, but the amount of things you can do with these automations is just absolutely incredible, and well worth it. So now that link is an affiliate link, and I do gain a commission if you decide to purchase through it, but I would be recommending the software either way. So thanks for watching the video, and have a good day. See ya.